Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is SKTV coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Sekou Kenneth. I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us today. And we want to encourage every one of you to make sure you share the show as we get prepared for this breathtaking conversation. It's going to be very, very interesting. We have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to unveil. So I want to encourage all of you to share the show as we make our way to joining our colleagues on the radio on Truth FM 96.1. I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us. I want to encourage you to share the show. It's very, very important that you share the show. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I want to encourage you to make sure you share the show. Yeah, it's important. Share the show with your friends so they can share with their friends, on your personal profile, on the pages you are part of, in the group that you are part of. So go ahead and share the show so we can get this conversation going.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. What is our people who waiting to serve? The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The brothers giving us the end, the promise of death. The welcome and life without fear.
I lyrical
Master.
Play Paris who make you I can't ask you TV menu. Say my journey, Tina can I say my yamo. And yes I know money. Emu aye yo. And you love me. Emu aye yo. What is
SKTV the best in Liberia. SKTV the best in Africa. SKTV the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, and I couldn't play ya to money, and I could do ya to money, and I don't get it now ya to money. That's the baby, and I don't get it now. Cause you walk on my ya to money. Yeah.
SKTV the best in Liberia. SKTV the best in Africa. SKTV the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. What is our people who waiting to serve? The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise from best. The world with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
SKTV the best in Liberia. SKTV the best in Africa.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. What is our people who waiting to serve? The blessing that time and the efforts are rest. The brothers giving us the end, the promise of death. The welcome and life without fear.
I lyrical
Master.
Play Paris who make you I can't ask you TV menu. Say my journey, Tina can I say my yamo. And yes I know money. Emu aye yo. And you love me. Emu aye yo. What is
SKTV the best in Liberia. SKTV the best in Africa. SKTV the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
And I didn't ya to money, and I said ya to money, ena kwana gli ya tumale, ya ina kodubwa ya tumale, ena Guinea ya tumale, ena Salia ya tumale, ena kwana gli ya tumale, ya ina kodubwa ya tumale, ana na pagi ya na ya tumale, esta tiki, ana na pagi ya na, tosi wako ma ya tumale, oh, oh, oh.
SKTV, the best in Liberia. SKTV, the best in Africa. SKTV, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the local and grandmaster.
There are things we can do. We bringing good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from there and out part of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to serve. The session that time and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best. To work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from Riverside, River G to Chile, from Cancun, Bombay, Cape Mount, Montserrat, Sano to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonk to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
SKTV, the best in Liberia.
So I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us. I want to encourage you to share the show. From the look of things, it looks like you guys are not even sharing the show. And to be honest, the conversation we are about to have, we may not involve in that conversation with are you sharing the show. Trust me, you got to, do your part. This is going to be a very, very important and interesting conversation. So if you cannot share the show, then we'll still be here, we'll do a show, but actually we'll not talk about what we have planned to discuss here. Nowadays, people have been trying to do everything to suppress, the platform, whether it is by sending us viruses and somehow, in fact, they've been trying to hack the platform since yesterday. When we say we have a breaking news to share with you today, we have been under serious threat and attack, on the cyberspace. So I want to say thank you to all of you for following, but you have to share the show before we can continue with this platform or this conversation. Let me see if we can get to Melbourne.
But anyway, how be it? Indeed, we're going to be diving into anything on today. So,
Melbourne, can you hear me?
One down. I don't know who part is boring. When I say good part is boring, say good.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm great. Thank God for life. You look good though. It's like your part is boring.
I'm fasting, man. Stop talking about pot boiling, man. Don't make me feel hungry already.
No. I understand. I know that. And then we're starting from maybe from the 15th, right? Because I think the people go almost 10 days now.
So you will start fasting for next week?
Maybe I have to, because let me be frank. We got to. Sometimes there are some fasts that you have to do. There are some fasts like look. You know what I say? Maybe because a colleague of mine, and so I think Ansu said, in fact, he was controlling his diet. He said, maybe I will not eat from the morning time up to the evening time. I said, okay, no problem, brother. So myself went to the tea shop. I said, for me, I let my little Linton tea in the morning to enjoy me. After we finished drinking the tea, less than 1 or 2 hours, Ansu said, my man, I don't feel I can stand anything. How you guys can go about with the controlling of your diet and so on? I said, but then I don't feel you can even fast. Because if you're not able to even go for 2 hours, then what happened to you? So actually, so fasting is a thing for me. I say that you got to put yourself into it. You got to make up your mind. And it's extra thing that other people can do. But it's just that sometimes people are not willing because the mind is weak. That's just it. But for me, I can fast.
All right. Thank you, Mabel. Mabel, since yesterday, we said we have some breaking news to share with the Liberian people. And since then, we have received a lot of calls. Also, some people been threatening and attacking our platform, you know, to stop us. Some have been trying to actually hijack the platform, to hack the platform. Yeah, they've been trying. But
Wow.
with God in control, we will, still be here and do the Liberian people's work. And I want to just take a few moments to recognize a few people here, at least those who have said something. But to be honest with you, we're not going to dive into this conversation without having certain number of people on here,
Yes.
because these are important conversations that we are about to dive into. And these things, some of it has some national security implications. And we don't just talk, and we don't just bring on issues without getting the facts. As a matter of fact, just to give you a little bit about what we're going to be discussing today, we're going to be discussing some of the things that happened during the president's trip to Ivory Coast, the conversations. We're also going to be talking about some of the people that are actually fighting the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court, and some of the things that they have been doing, some of the plan and actions that they have been involved with on the scene. And the biggest breaking news that we still want to talk about today is it also involves some security agencies and some bad people within the government of Joseph Juma Boakai, or within the circle of the president. Some of the things that they have been planning and been doing. We have some deep and serious information about those things that we believe that they need to be discussed with the Liberian people. As we always say in Liberia, we say prevention is better than cure. It's better to prevent the problem as opposed to, worrying about. Anyway, Brazilian Monk is here. Mon, welcome. How are you, sir?
Not much, Shiku. What's up, Milbon? And to the rest of the listening audience.
And in the meantime, before we even dive into maybe I'm still hearing myself for some reason. I don't know if you can work with that. Are we good? Okay. I think it's good now. Thank you. Maybe I have to, that guy who helped you in the back there, I got to know that guy's name, because you always forgetting that button to press. That guy can come and press the button behind you. I got to know that guy's name. Yeah.
We have a lot of young artists.
Yeah, we got
so,
some technical guys in the back there that,
yeah.
that are really helping, and I really appreciate them.
That's good.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive into the breaking news in a little bit, but before we do, we received the budget, the draft budget of the government last night, and some people, have somehow cherry pick, to pick some portion that they feel or they think that seems favorable to the government, and that may be somehow attractive to the people of Liberia. thereby covering up the other part of the budget. As we always do, SKTV, we don't just dive into anything without digging deeper. So we have this budget and we have shared with our colleagues. We are in the process of digging deeper. We will peruse the document. We will highlight areas that need to be highlighted. And we will come and discuss it with the Liberian people. As one of my colleagues said to me, he said, Seko, this budget will take a whole show. We're not going to just discuss this one, just a piece of it to pass. No, we're going to discuss it holistically. And it could take a whole show. I just wanted to let you know that we have the budget and we are looking at it. Don't be carried away about by the speculation, something shared by the senator of Senator of Monsoro County, Senator Dallas Dillon, who wants to somehow make it look like, the president is doing better than the former president. We saw something like, the president reduce this budget and that budget and increase this and that. Did you check whether or not there are other things added to the budget to benefit the Senate? Did you check whether there are other things added to the budget to benefit the House of Representatives? Do we know whether or not the infamous $30,000, $35,000 was inserted again somewhere, some ways that could be later taken out? Do we know how much being inserted in other agency that they're going to go and collect later on? So we cannot just be carried away by that information. That's just a piece of it. And that sounds really good. It sounds like, the president is doing well, but that's not all the way. There are other components of the budget that should be scrutinized in detail to the Liberian people. Monk, we say we have some breaking news, and we are now encouraged by the level of people interest in hearing breaking news because they are not sharing the show. So we might not discuss the breaking news today holistically, but if the people share the show and we are encouraged by the level of or the number of people tuning in, then we will talk about it. Information is not cheap. You don't just share it just like that. You got to make sure that people are interested in hearing it and people are paying attention. So, Monk, overall, have you received the budget, the draft budget submitted by the Buakai government?
Well, at this stage, it's not a draft budget; it's the actual budget that's been forwarded to the legislature for approval. So we are in the second stage of the budget. The first one that surfaced a couple of days ago, that was a draft, but the one that came out yesterday is the final budget that will be forwarded to our lawmakers. You see, Dylan posted something yesterday. We got the realistic aspect of the budget and we got the propaganda aspect of this budget. That's why we need a whole show to dissect the budget and put a lot of holes through it. We'll poke hole in this budget because you can see the gamesmanship. You can see where it appears like a genuine call. You'll be like, yeah, these guys are making progress. But when it comes to the allocation and things that were prioritized in terms, it the same line by line acting, but it just changed figure. This time around, they make it look like a cut. But the question is, if you are cutting, where are you putting the extra money in order to improve sector, whether it's the agriculture sector? Yes, on paper it look like you put extra millions in the educational budget, but when you look at it, most of it still go to payroll. That's Liberia's problem. When I see Liberia, I think about a family man with 5 kids and his wife. Every time he takes pay, he doesn't put something down aside for raining this phone. He's not investing in the children's future. Maybe today he will cook cassava, tomorrow she cook pamoto. He put everything in the pot. That's how Liberia is. More than 50% of the budget go to nothing but compensation and payroll. They pay themselves. When you look at the legislature budget, yes, like I said, everything seems like a cut. The question is, all the cuts you are making, are you putting it in the sector that need the most boost in order to improve the economy? That's the question. But tomorrow, maybe we can dig into that because it would take an entire show. So I just went through it. Chairman Yato called me this morning. We were brainstorming. I always consult my chairman when it comes to this thing. And he was like, look at this item, look at this, look at the games that is being played here, look at money that is being moved around here. And the thing is, they are projecting into the future from 2024 to 2026, right? The next 3 years. But some of the line by line items, the same figure from 2024, it goes to 2025, it goes to 2026. So if you are going to make 3 years projection, you are literally telling me that nothing is going to improve, because how can you project a budget for the next 3 years, but the line item, the numbers remain? Look, Seku, I'm getting sick of this stuff. I don't know, because we keep saying in the show there is no righteous anger in Liberia. The vast majority of the people in that country, they don't pay attention to these things. So whether you are advocating, whether you are pushing the narrative out there, the question is how many people are actually paying attention to this thing. And these politicians, they use it, they weaponize it to their advantage. That's how they make their money. They do things knowing fully well that the overwhelming majority of Liberian people, they could care less about what's happening in the country. And that's where we are stuck at.
Well, Monk, thank you so much. And I don't know how many of you have shared the show. If you haven't done so, we will take about 3 more minutes to see how many people are going to share the show. We can dive into that conversation. But let me recognize a few of you here. Fred Nyimpa, welcome to SKTV. Yen Bobby Yang, God Favor Gay Cooper, welcome to SKTV. Lovely Pierre Perry, welcome. And Yumoto Kranga, welcome to SKTV. Teresa Bomi, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly. Teresa Bom, I guess. Boyne, I guess. No, I don't want to call your name the wrong way. I apologize if I do. Hubert Schiffers, Yata Brenot, welcome to SKTV. Marie Pratt, Ma Pipet Flomo, welcome to SKTV. Say Jacobs, welcome to SKTV. And Afri Brady, welcome to SKTV. Edwin Crow, welcome to SKTV. Sata M. Miller, welcome. Jesse Koto Waxing, welcome to SKTV. Valentin Precious, welcome to SKTV. Ernestine Bernard, Sedwan Jibo, welcome to SKTV. Lai Fufana, welcome to SKTV. Yomotro Kranga, and Esther Clark Fredericks, Nora Hopes, Victoria Blamo Cooper, Rose Russell, and Blama Kane, welcome to SKTV. Eleanor Davis, Mapu Tyson, welcome to SKTV. Cyril Snyder, and we have a lot of people anyway. Ruth Robert Klangber, Samson Zedui, I'm sorry, Samson. Orito Dina, welcome to SKTV. Mustafa Balo, Bruno Broswell, welcome to SKTV. And Rika Gibson, welcome to SKTV. Linda Nyimpan. Those of you who promised yesterday you're going to be on here, if we don't see you here, we'll call you up. Anyway, Jeremiah Kulek from all the way Mississippi Street, Greenville, San County, welcome. And I want to say welcome to all you and those of you who are listening on the radio, on the loudspeaker right there in Sano County. Mema Kwe, welcome to SKTV. Say Gonganu, welcome to SKTV. Elizabeth Bowen, welcome. Cooper Williams, welcome. Randolph Perry, welcome. I want to make sure I try to get everybody on here. Gwen John Smith, welcome to SKTV. Mayton Hood, Blair Sumpon Batu, welcome to SKTV. Breakable Power, welcome to SKTV. Pumbat Ray, Ferrison 1 year, welcome to SKTV. Edmond Wilson Jr. or Senior, welcome to SKTV. Paul Jala, welcome to SKTV. Sky Escamara, welcome to SKTV. Felicius Jepo Johnson, welcome to SKTV. Uriel Venikai, welcome to SKTV. Randall Woluba, welcome to SKTV. Grant Thomas, welcome to SKTV. I try to, because some people are ready for recording name, like SKTV name writing something. Yeah, so Melvin Care, welcome to SKTV. Stephen A. Bax, welcome to SKTV. Melbourne and our brother, President Monk. I know some of you may not have read what we posted yesterday. So we have, before we jump into the national security issue, let's talk about some other stuff that we consider that are also newsworthy. We have SKTV is informed that Senator Daros Dillon may not run for re-election in Montserrat County come 2029. SKTV is informed that the senator is contemplating on moving to Grand Bassa County, given the fact that his popularity is shrinking in Montserrat, that he may not run for Montserrat come 2029 because he knows that he may not win the election. We are also informed that Representative Yeke Kolba has been discussed in many cycles and being talked to by other people for Yeke Kolba to run for the Senate position in Montserrat County 2029. And some other people also reaching out to Yeke Kolba to run as vice president in 2029. Those things are information that we thought to share with you. I know Senator Dillon is watching and he may respond to this later on today. We have more information about that and the reason behind Dillon's decision, not only because he's becoming unpopular in Montserrat County, but we have been informed that the senator of Grand Bassa County, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, she's contemplating on running for president 2029. So her seat will potentially be vacant. And they don't want that seat to be filled with somebody else. Because in that year, that's going to be the year that she's supposed to be running for re-election. So if she runs for re-election, if she runs for president, that means she cannot run simultaneously for the presidency at the same time for the senator. So because of that, they want Senator Abraham Darrow Dillon, instead of losing Montserrat County, so Dillon is poised to go to Ghana.
Oh, the rescue entering, the rescue Uncle Flynn, they are
so Senator Dillon has to move to, Grand Bassa County to rescue, Grand Bassa County so that he cannot lose both.
So he'll dress by dress.
Yeah, so if Dillon is to run for Montserrat, if he doesn't win, and normally running for president, and she doesn't win, they might end up losing everything. So Dillon is possibly a Senate candidate for Grand Bassa County. And two reasons. One, maybe I'm hearing myself again. When you finish talking, you gotta close it, so that way it can be repeating. So that's just a little bit of information what I wanted to share with you. But let's get to some critical issues that we wanted to talk about today. The last time we told you that the president went to Ivory Coast to negotiate the light, the electricity problem with them, where the state Liberia owes about 11 million United States dollar. That was the topic that they wanted to put it to the public. But the main concern and the main discussion has to do with national security. Remember the last time we told you here that Senator Prince Johnson's threat, in fact, before Prince Johnson made it public, we informed you here that Senator Prince Johnson and others were making some recruitment in Nima County, even training. Before Senator Prince Johnson came and solidified what we said, there were conversations going on, meetings, other activities going on. So this is a very critical and sensitive issue. We have tried not to talk about it in public, but believing that the government of Liberia will at least give some information so that people can be on alert to understand exactly what's going on around them. So our information is that the president talked to President Alassane Ouattara about this, and there are some movement around the region. There's this guy that used to work for Charles Taylor. I'm not going to call his name. Maybe some of you know him. He was one of the top brass in the Charles Taylor's security apparatus. He lives in Togo, Lomé. He has his own hate group, like missionaries. He's been contacted. He's also making some movement. You've been to Ghana. Togo, Lomé, and the Accra and also Bujumbura camp, they don't fire from each other. He's been moving around. He's been contacted by the same group of people who are afraid of having war and economic crunch code in Liberia. That if it becomes a reality, they are planning to undermine the process. So we have learned that the president discussed this. We got this information from the Ivory Coast side. Let me say this. So you shouldn't go and start witch hunting some people from your inner circle from the executive mansion. No, we got this information. We told you guys after that particular meeting, we received video footage, receive audio conversation from the other side before even we hear anything from the Liberian side. Just so you know. That's how we even got to know the flight that picked up President Boakai. It was a private flight, one of the flights belonging to President of Ivory Coast, Alassane Ouattara. It was a private jet that Joseph Boakai flew to Ivory Coast and back. That's how we got to know everything from our sources from the African side. So that these people, they have budget in place, and some of the sponsors of the budget to destabilize or to undermine the process of the War and Economic Crimes Court are from some of the people who are in the Liberian government. Some of them are in the Senate. When you see Prince Johnson talking, Prince Johnson is not talking by himself. There are other people who are part of this. So it seems like some of them informed the government, and the president trying to be somehow preemptive in making sure that whatever happens, there should be any, there shouldn't be any, cross-border activities, including people moving things around. You know what I mean? Somebody cannot destabilize a country or create problem in the country without having some source of, I don't want to say this, but we're having some source of bringing things in to create problem in the country. And some of those things cannot be done secretly without the acquiescence of the neighboring country or government. So whatever is going on, we've learned that the Liberian government have reached out to the Ouattara government to let them know that they should not allow anybody to use Ivory Coast to move anything around that will cause problem in our country. We will have thought that the Liberian government will at least issue some warning to say, hey, those of you who may be involved in X, Y, and Z, we are keeping eyes on you. If you try anything, you will face the full way of the law. At least put them on their guard. Make them to understand that you know exactly what's going on. But if the Liberian people, if the Liberian government is not aware, they don't know what's going on, we are telling you now, something is not right. The guy in Lomé, Togo, that guy already got his own group there. They having some kind of like group, like a missionary group. They can be hired by different people, different country, different rich people to go and hit on certain people, kill people, harm people. That guy is leading that group there. And he's been contacted by some of the same group in Liberia to also form part of what they are planning to somehow disrupt the process of War and Economic Crimes Court. And this information has also been forwarded to our partners and other international actors. So they are keeping eyes on everything going on there. Sometimes some people try to silence us, by threatening us, saying certain things to us, that if you talk this, if you say this, if you say that, but we don't care. We believe The Liberian people deserve to know everything about their country, so they can be prepared for the good things or for the bad thing, whatever it is. It's always good to know what's going on. In fact, we told you here, after when we said that some meetings and conversations were going on by Prince Johnson and others, we even talked about possible training and recruitment in Nima County. You didn't believe us. Prince Johnson came and said it. Last week, somebody called on this show on Nimba and said that there was an announcement on the radio in Nimba stating that Prince Johnson were recruiting people, calling on young people. And when the video surfaced, when the audio surfaced, during the interview with O'Neill Rabbit of Truth FM, when Prince Johnson said, we have been having conversation. We have the highest number of former killers. We've been having conversation behind the scene as to what action to take if this was not an alarm for national security concern. Then Joseph Boaga does not have security. If a former rebel leader is telling you, we are having meetings, we are having conversations with warlords, with former rebel generals, if this was not a cause for alarm, if this could not prompt an investigation, if this is not what security people call a prima facie or a probable cause for an investigation, then Joseph Boaga still need to look around for security. If this could not trigger an investigation into Prince Johnson, somebody is telling you that we are having conversation to destabilize the country. Should you bring the War and Economic Crime Code? Going as far as telling you, we have the highest number of former fighters, and we are talking to them. It's not, if that's not a reason to launch an investigation, I don't know what it is. So, as I speak to you, they were having meetings in Liberia. Now they have taken it extra mile. They are now having meetings outside of Liberia. They are now having meetings outside of Liberia. So let the Liberian people be careful. Let Joseph Boaga be mindful. Also, another thing we wanted to share with you today is this whole idea of security agencies, security apparatus that are being used by some people who want to make themselves hero for the Unity Party and Joseph Boakai government. We have been reliably informed. And we did not just take the information, we try to reach out to some of the agencies to know exactly whether the information we received could be collaborated. They didn't deny, they didn't confirm. That there are people being recruited by some people from the president's inner cycle to hate on critical voices in the country. And they are spreading those being recruited to different agencies of government, different security apparatus. Some people will be falsely accused because they are critical voices just to silence them. Some people will be accused of drug dealing just to silence them. Some people. You know, let me tell you this, and you put this, you write it down. This date is the 20th of March. Ask yourself, why is it that many of the EPS officials are resigning? Where are they? Where are some of the key players in the EPS that are resigning? Where are they? You know, it's not funny, but because they think that people are stupid, people are not paying attention. And Joseph Parker he has to be very, very careful, man. He has to be mindful. Believe me. You learn that George Weah refused a good number of APS people that were assigned to him. Okay. You learn that other EPS officials are resigning. Okay. EPS under Charles Taylor was SSS, Special Security Services. They were transformed to ATU under Charles Taylor, Anti-Terrorist Unit under Charles Taylor. It was the same group of people. I'm telling you now, most of those people, some of the same players serve under all the presidents. Whether they were called SSU, ATU, EPS, by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf up to George Weah, most of those people serve in that security agency. And guess what? Under Charles Taylor, some of their leaders, Benjamin Yetan was one of the leaders for SSU. When Benjamin Yetan was promoted to another level, when they used to call him Unit 50, Shafa Norman, when it became the ATU, Chuck Taylor was the one leading them. But who was in control of most of them was Shafa Norman. Do you remember when McGill was Minister of State for Presidential Affairs? The people then that he brought to his compound, gave them a bag of rice, paid cow for them, and they even went as saying that they are the general, former general. They even threatened to arrest Yeke Koluba, to arrest other people.
Yeah, including Costa.
Control, they want to arrest Henry Costa and everybody.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeke should report to their office. Can you imagine people that are not in government?
Okay. So if you remember that, I just want you to know the same people that have been serving in those capacity, they have connection with the same people that who are trying to destabilize or somehow disrupt the peace, disrupt the whole idea of war and economic crimes code. Also, this thing is deeper, but anyway, it looks like maybe we're going to go to the news bulletin, and we don't want to give these critical informations when we're not on the radio. But it's getting serious. Maybe we'll not even talk everything today. But
Yes, indeed. Again,
maybe
more serious.
you can go ahead and do the news bulletin, and then give us a signal when you're done. Then we can start, the conversation from where we stop. But President Monk, so far, what you just listened to, is Labrador safe today or safer today than we were under our government?
Well, I don't know. We saw what happened over the past 6 years when it comes to the security issue. One thing, if you take a closer look at Madam Sally, 12 years in government and that of George Weah, it seemed like under Madam Sally, the guys felt that they were ostracized. You could barely hear about them. They were never in voting. But for some reason, when George Weah came to power, it's a complete opposite. That's why they were brave enough to tell Yeke Koluba or Henry Costa to report to their office. It never happened on Madam Sally. Some of them left the country, never heard about them. But when it came to Georgia, it was a whole different case. The one thing about this whole war crime code, that's why I keep telling you, the situation like bro, I don't know if it's a psychological issue because it's very hard to wrap your head around it. When you ask the people in Liberia, overwhelmingly they will tell you that they want war and economic crimes code. But these are the very same people that keep voting for war criminals.
Yeah.
You seen it? So the question is, in as much as they will tell you that they want war and economic crimes code, that the international community and our partners are also pushing for it, the way the people are reacting, it never happened. It's not a coincidence. It never happened in one area. Whether it was the Tomoya Nine, whether it was the Abachi, and people with sketchy power, whether it's Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson is just influencing the outcome of election in Liberia. So I keep saying that if the people of Nema County believe that protecting Prince Johnson is greater than the well-being of Liberia, then how do you even make the case for a war crimes court? And that's what these guys are counting on. And don't forget, it's war and economic crime code. I keep telling people when you listening is a skill. When Betty Van Sach talked about there are more evidences. Speaking of people that committed economic crimes as compared to the war crime, that they got more evidence. So you're not talking about few people, you're talking about a bunch of people going back to Madam Salif administration as well. And when you factor in the idea that it even extend up to today's date, so think how many people you have found in a dragnet when it comes to war and economic crimes code. So whether it's instability or people planning subversive activity, it's not scringe for me or to me. That's how I see it. Because there are more players in this game than people will imagine because it's war and economic crimes code. Going up to your vice president, your sitting vice president. So, Sekou, we are up against something bigger here. I don't know whether our lawmakers will have the ball. For people who want to see justice, I really don't know, especially in the upper house. If they know, you remember when they passed the resolution in the house, I made a statement on this platform. I said, based on the overwhelming evidences and the overwhelming consensus among the Liberian people concerning war and economic crimes code, the numbers of lawmakers that voted for I was a little bit disappointed. It was less than, let's say, 57%. But the survey will tell you anywhere between 80 to 85% of Liberian people want war and economic crime code. So their vote, it tells you that even in the House, despite the resolution was able to pass in the lower house, they still contempt over there based on the numbers, because I expected an overwhelming support, but 57% is little bit over half the mark. So
Yeah.
it tells that even the people in the lower house, they are not in favor. And the biggest opposition will come from the upper house. So whether it's people got ulterior motive, people are planning subversive activity, it won't be screens to me, because I know, and these guys got money. They're paying their house. These
Mhm.
guys, look, if you go to the budget and you look at some of the funds that were allocated, we are government didn't play when it came to allocating budget to the various sector. When you see the past budget, I know it was election. Yeah, people can say, okay, yeah, they wanted to finance their re-election, but still, you can justify. So, and when it comes to this thing, you need money as well. Money plays a critical role. So, and I know they are not short on cash. So, if they get the support, and if the voter themselves are on board just because they want to protect their own, whether it's on sectarian land, whether it's on tribal land, whether it's on or party land. Look, Seku, we are still evenly divided in our country. It might look like the vast majority of them want the war and economic crime code, but I'm not still convinced from what I'm seeing, and all the indicators are blinking red that we're not heading in the right direction. And another thing, I don't know
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I don't, so you don't lose your thought. Go ahead.
another thing, if we can put a piece together, I don't know if it came from Jefferson Koji directly. Jefferson Koji is someone I've been throwing a lot of tantrums, and it's like he's kind of engaging in active defiance to this new administration. Something I saw is the statement is a excerpt from the recent announcement of CDC new chairman or Janja Kawa. There's what it says. He said to the Freeport of Moravia, Sekou Dukle, he needs to stop. He is a young man. Sometimes we do not develop the fortitude to go after young people, but we have to stop. You are engaged into classical manners at the Freeport of Moravia. Maybe you don't know. We need to tell you in Freeport, and all of you appointees, Bwaka has the right to appoint you. We have the right to remove you. Can you imagine that? That an outgoing government is telling you that
How they have the right to remove somebody?
that is something I don't understand, right? He said, Bwaga has the right to appoint you. We have the right to remove you. We don't seek permission to remove you. You can line up. Yeah, this
How
is
are they
what
going
he
to
said.
remove him?
Yeah, you can line up your police and AFL. We can tell you we understand the history. Tukle, I understand you permanently reside in the US. Continue your safari. Don't be duped into carrying out unwarranted action that will be met by consequences. Look, Seku, that country is not in a better place right now. And I will advise the old man and the people around him to take it slowly, to do a careful assessment. But there is time that I think it's about time that people start.
So Monk, my question to you is that what do you make of the fact that the Liberian government seems to care less about threat being issued by Prince Johnson? If this was issued by an ordinary Liberian, you think he or she would have gotten the same treatment?
No, I don't think so. And I think the old
If
man.
somebody is telling you that we are having meetings,
Yes.
we've been having conversation, we have the former rebels, we have all the former majority of the fighters,
Yes.
and we are making conversation. So you decide to carry on this war crime code, we will see what to do. And that is a threat to the national security, threat to the country, and they let that slide. Where are we? So, I mean, you could wake up one night on one day and hear that military or some former rebels, they're already taking over the country because they may told you we're going to do it.
It's within the realm of possibility. Like you said, I don't know where the other statement is dragging his feet, whether it's questioning. And he said that the president is not picking up his call. And the Front Page Africa came with an article about this whole fallout that he's not getting his way. And if you look at the man history, and this man is telling you that his county can boast of the most general, the most rebel. Matter of fact, he got people. You can remember one time he even threatened Jefferson Could you say, even your city police, all the people that work for you are once on my core base. You can remember that? So this man know exactly what he's talking about. The question is, when you get into this kind of a political marriage, These are some of the downsides to it as well. Because he's looking at the alliance, he's looking at the fact that this man supported him. I don't know what he's waiting for, whether to call for an investigation or he wanted to reach tipping point when his own security is at risk. Because when people sense weakness, look, a bullet can only respond to a bullet. When you lean back, they will override you. And the president, in as much you see, it's one of the reasons we used to always question the whole Blanca presidency. You see, we keep saying that the presidency doesn't change anything about you. It only reveals who you are. Joseph Boakai never spoke on any critical national issue under the Weah administration. He always said, when there is time to talk, we'll talk. The question is when. When there will be the perfect time for you to talk. He sat on the sideline. That's how the likes of Henry Coase and Yeke Koluba and other people took control of the protest when, in fact, he was the number one political leader in the opposition, the former ruling party at the time. He never uttered a single word, whether it was the Mason boss, whether it was the auditors, whether it was the extrajudicial killing. No, Joseph Boakai just sat there. So I don't expect him to respond when these things are happening because it's part of the nature. He never
Yeah,
speaks.
but he's not the president, Monk. That's the difference.
He's not the president. He's not the president. He's a commander in chief. That's why he got a title as the chief executive. He's the commander in chief. You can summon people. You can call for questioning. But until we can see it happening, I don't expect it to happen anyway because it's within Joseph Boakai nature not to talk on national issue. So I don't know.
So you think the Attorney General of Liberia, the Ministry of Justice, is independent enough to start an investigation into Prince Johnson for the statement?
They can just call him for questioning. It's within the realm of the law. They can call him for questioning. These are threatening statements. Sekou, I keep saying that this election was a half-word election. The country is evenly split. So you got to walk a very fine and thin line. But the question is, when the security of the entire state is at risk, what do? You can't you cannot take a laissez-faire approach. You have to address things. It may not be popular. You see, it's one of the things between the CDC and the Unity Party. They are the same players on opposite side of the spectrum. So one group know that something is not happening right. The other group is not bold enough to say, look, let me give you a typical example. Fanantikova controls the lower house, right? And you got most of the actors when we talk about war crime, they are in the upper house. And they were on the other side, they supported the CDC government as well. Now you find that the same people that propel CDC to power are the one that bring the part of the power. Where do you draw the line as to who to bring who to what? That's why I keep saying, Sekou, it will be a very tough situation.
So when I talk about EPS, right? Somebody told me, Sekou, somebody came to my inbox just now telling me that SSU and ATU were different on the tax law. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't know. It's the same thing, though.
I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. And I can't say more than that. Because I know what I know. I have friends in the Charles Taylor security apparatus they had 3 uniforms. They used to wear the SOD uniform when they stand for Operation for SOD. They used to wear the SSU uniform. They used to wear the ATU uniform. I knew people. They were just not anybody. But they used to arrest ministers and put them in the back of their trunk. Not they say in front of me. You don't know what you're talking about. And what I'm telling you now, I want you to understand, I want you to know that SSU officers, do you know some people that serve in President Do Satu? Some of them serve in the SSU. Do you know that? Do you know the history of the current leader of the EPS? Sam Gay, do you know him? You don't know anything. Especially when it comes to security. Some of you don't know anything. Like Labrabo was saying, you know nothing about some of these things more than us. We've been around for a little bit. And we also, pay our due. Trust me, we did. So we know. My fear here is that the EPS officers that are resigning, what is the rationale behind it? Where are they going? Do you know what they know? Do you know the extent to which they can go? If you don't know, they are similar to what we have here called how do you call it here, sir? The ones that protect
The Secret Service.
the Secret Service. For Liberia, they are the executive mansion protection. They protect the executive mansion. They protect the presidency. Somebody who is protecting the presidency, not only they know all the secret of the executive mansion, they know the movement of the presidency, they know how the president is protected, they know who all protects the president, they know who all carries arm, they know who don't carry arm, they know exactly what is going on. That's why not everybody can be in those security apparatus. Not everybody. You got to be vetted properly. You got to be trained properly. It can be partisan. You got to be someone who is loyal to the country. Someone who is a professional that pay attention to detail, that respect, that people that respect their professionalism. They got no loyalty to any president, but loyalty to their country and the agency they represent. They work day and night to bulwark the image of the agency they represent. For Liberia, it's different. Imagine a President George Weah saying, I don't want the other president because I don't know them. I don't want these other people because I don't know them. I'm afraid. Let me say this to you. I'm afraid for Liberia. Maybe some of you know, some of you don't know what we are talking here. It looks like Mabel is back. Maybe some of you don't know what we're talking here.
And Sekou, one thing I don't understand, right? I've been following. Is this resignation in line, or was it a signal? When people say that Georgia requested X amount of EPS officer with an astronomical sum of number to protect him. So, and you finding out that just few days after that request, a bunch of them are putting in resignation letters or planning to resign. Do you think the two you can put them together? It makes sense. Was that a trigger message to tell them that, you know what, that they are loyal to the personality than the office that they're supposed to be protecting? Because why would he put in for such a huge number after leaving office, and the next thing you know, a batch of them are resigning or planning to resign? It could be one of the same. Because if I'm a well-trained EPS officer that was trained to protect the office of the president. And like you said, you cannot be partisan. So it doesn't matter who occupies the presidency. It's my job. But why would one guy leave and you got a badge of EPS officer planning on resigning or already resigned? Why? From a security standpoint, now a security guy here, but you don't think the two coincide? It make a lot of sense if you put the pieces together.
Batonkula is asking whether is it true Sekou was in the NSA and stay maintaining contacts there. This is not about Sekou. This is not about Sekou. And I can tell you, more what you just said, it could be one of all. You know, my concern here is if Shafa Norman is a former rebel, a former chancellor rebel, who was somehow leading. He was next to Shafa Norman was next to Jackie Taylor. He came to the control of the ATU. Shafa Norman won. She see Shafa Norman that I saw in that studio that was talking. Say he's a former general. They can arrest anybody. Then that those guys that they are controlled by people that got money right now in the Senate. The likes of McGill, Prince Johnson, other people. I would say, based on what we've been hearing, what's been going on behind the scene, the ones that are resigning, maybe they are going home. They are going back home. Going back home for reassignment from their masters. More, I hope you feel what I'm saying here.
I know where you're leading with this.
Those guys are former SSS and ATU. Their leaders are calling them to go back. I don't want to say more than that. Those who got sense will understand. Those who can read between the lines, who can rationalize, will understand exactly what I'm talking about here. That guy they called 50, Benjamin Yeten, he was the head of them. But we just told you that they are calling them. They are giving them more money than Bishop Bakar can give them. They are offering them more money than Bishop Bakar can give them. And they are telling them, their bosses, let me tell you this. The whole World Economic Crimes Court, Prince Johnson just making it as if to say it's all about him. No, it's not. But there are other people that Prince Johnson mentioned indirectly. He says some of the former generals are here selling golds and diamonds and making their, living their daily bread. They are not, making their daily bread from businesses and this and that. They're not in politics, they're not in anything, but they want to bring them to justice and this and that. Those guys feel threatened. They feel like their existence will come to question should there be any War Economic Crimes Court. So they will invest everything and anything, including themselves, to make sure to protect themselves. And if one of their leaders can come up publicly and said, we are having this conversation, we are having meetings, we are having discussions. Now they have started meeting outside of Liberia. If Joseph Boakai sit back, so apparently and do nothing. Believe me, he will be setting himself up for a rude awakening, which will be very, very detrimental to the survival and the well-being of our country. So before we left the radio, I was about to say something. There are guys that have been putting some people together to target certain people, especially critical voices. My open warning to the president's son: do not be another Chucky Taylor. Do not be another Chucky Taylor. Joseph Boakai Jr. Don't be another Chucky Taylor. Secondly, to the heads of all those agencies that the people are sending, recruiting their own people, sending them. Don't try to use those agencies to target anybody. Either to target the former government officials, to target critical voices, to target your critics, or those who may be in opposition to your government. Do not do it. This is a clearing call. This is open message to President Boakai's son. We get a lot of information. Trust me. And yesterday, we made some phone calls. We even sent some pictures to some of the leaders of those or some of the agencies, asking them, who is this guy? Do you know this person? Oh, this person is already in uniform. What training this person went through before they are not in uniform? Do you know this person? Do you know his record or her record? We were told, no. These guys are just coming. This is not any kind of formal, recruitment. But when we go through the actual recruitment process, those that will be dropped. Those that will stay on will stay on. Why should we even have random people wearing uniform, engaging in arrest of other people when they are not even being formally trained, when they don't go through any formal process of recruitment? For Liberia to be peaceful, it will depend on President Boakai being preemptive and being actually awake and pay attention to details and do what he needs to do as president, taking swift actions where needed. Everything that we are hearing, Joseph Boakai should be aware. But Joseph Boakai is not in control. He's the president, but he's not in control. You know, there are senators that don't want to see this War Economic Crimes Court for their own reason. And they have participated in the conversation that Prince Johnson is talking about. They may not be former rebel, they may not be former general, but they are ready to sponsor people that Prince Johnson is recruiting, people that Prince Johnson is preparing to do funny stuff in the country. They have participated in some of the meeting. They have pledged support. Somebody already paid some money. Thinking that we can protect them from the War Economic Crimes Court. So we are not, trying to create fear in you. We just believe that when things happen or things are happening in the country, we inform our people. We publicly informed and caution our president. You warn the president. You don't just sit by and watch things to happen like that. You got to pay attention. And you got to tell your son to stop fighting people. Let you just leave everybody. You not be fighting people or to stop fighting to silence people. Yes. And those ministers or head of agencies of security apparatus, don't listen to the president's son. He's not the president. He's not the president. Soon and very soon, we will start calling some of you names. If you deny, we'll tell you the meeting you have and where it happens. Do not be carried away by that guy's position as the president's son. He's not the president. He cannot control you. He cannot just bring anybody or take anybody to any agency, say, the political person work with you guys. No, that's not how it works. These things have national security implication. It could cause problem for all of us. Something that we don't pray for it to happen. Monk, you want to say something before we take calls in Liberia?
Well, I think you have said it all. The president needs to put on the A game because this thing is national security threat and he himself is in grave danger. He's the commander-in-chief. People expect that reassurance from him. So we've been seeing this trend. The people that believe that they are at risk of war crime, they've been speaking with one voice, and that is Joseph Boakai don't bring war crimes court in this country. Whether it was statement from Weah, whether it was statement from Abache, whether it was statement from Prince Johnson, you can tell that coherence from their messages that they can sugarcoat it all they want. They said different words, but that's what they actually meant. Do not bring war crimes court in Liberia, else that was a threat. So we'll see what Joseph Boakai is made of. They might be his first test of the presidency. I'm talking about from a national security standpoint. But for me, I know Joseph Boakai is always, he doesn't talk on national issues. So I don't know. Maybe they might be working on something behind the scene, security-wise. But when it comes to reassuring the public, things like a public statement coming from the president's office directly, I'm not too sure about that because it's just part of Joseph Boakai nature to take a lean back approach. Sometimes the people say that how you operate, but we are the commander-in-chief. You don't operate in such a manner. People are always looking for some kind of assurance.
Yeah, Mom, do you know, someone even calling me, telling me, Seku, you got to be careful. The city is on a time bomb. I said, get out of here.
We've been hearing that for a while.
Yeah, telling me you got to be careful. The city is on a time bomb. and you got to be careful. I said, be careful for what? I thought we have a government. I don't know. Let me get to Melbourne. Hello, Melbourne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
So let's
Just
open the line for people. Just 30 seconds. Don't waste your time on anybody. But then don't cut anybody off. Just give them their 30 seconds, and then you let them go.
all right. So 0778-339682. That's the number to call to be part of the show. Again, 0778-339682. Call in to be part. I guess you've been following, and you want to make your own input on what we've been discussing. So let me get to the line, pick my first call.
Hello?
To this, hello?
People and people, how do you do it?
Yeah, we are fine. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm Peter the Council of Corporate Honor Student in West Civil. And thank you very much for the fascinating discussion. You know, and I beg your analysis that you have just articulated on the media clearly validated our argument that there's no there should be no let me tell you those people that and that live in the diaspora of America and clearly 95% of Liberians that live here who don't even trust America now. When we look at the Liberian Civil War, when we track the history, it was really instigated by America. So the war code and it's a major factor that may degenerate Liberia into another situation. And when the war came, we are the ones that were facing man. And today we are here doing our business. So we are not working in government. We are not working in government. We are doing our businesses. Our children are going to school. So we don't appreciate this kind of thing. We are living here in people that are not killing anybody. All those that people consider to be a warlord, they are not killing anybody. And the major issue here is America was the major instigator of the war in Liberia. So not even trust them. Let get post after that. There will be no war in Liberia, no war in Liberia. We are
All right, 0778-339682. That's the number to call. 0778-339682 to this call. Good evening.
good evening.
Yeah, my brother, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus Emmanuel, Richardson, I joined the conversation for Hobo Council. Yes, I listened to Mr. Weah. Look, we have been saying this over and over again. Our sense on the Waka took over. We are proving to us that, trust me, our country is under serious security threat. When you see what is happening, and even let's do every security apparatus, like the police, the AML, the DA, the see what is unfolding there right now. People are going there without practicing behavior. You see, train people and you want to go after them. Look at the EPS, right? They are threatening right now all the people that present. We are putting EPS, they want to, dismiss all of them. You think if they do that, you are putting even the President Walker at risk for the fact that.
All right. So this caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, bro. How you doing?
We are good. Go ahead, Chief.
I'm Jacob M. yourself calling from Grandfather. Maybe this war crime code will continue to pray to the Almighty God that this war crime code must come. But maybe I'm confused. Nima has two senators will now represent the one up to now they are not found a war crime code. They say they want to build it and they make a document. For more than 12 years we've been talking about war crime code. But we are hearing from them that they want to review this document before they can. Now why? Maybe you have to be careful. Let's pray to God that this country will be better. But really, people planning, guess what people say? People have all the things on their hand that they want to do in this country. So the only thing we need to do is to let Baka put his feet down hard and see how best you even get security around him. If you not be careful, then you be careful. Thank you.
All right, let me be careful. To this caller, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Your name and from where you join us?
My name is Sane Happiness. I'm calling you from Johnson.
Okay.
See, I always follow you, Brother SC, but today, Brother SC has said something that really struck me to call on this show. Brother SK, you are selling on. Nothing good. You don't mean rocket scientists to tell elaborate people what you are saying. But we post, but we rest on the president's shoulder. For everything happening in this country, the president doesn't say anything at all to we the citizens to make us to understand where we are going and where we're coming from. We don't understand anything, but see what happened today in Liberia. People protest in Liberia, police go after you, they do rap war. They start stopping us as a citizen in this country so we don't have freedom of expression anymore in Liberia. It's not working like that. So, thank you for the topic on the discussion. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much also for being part of the team and also calling in today to bring out your own take on the show. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, man, but go ahead quickly, your name and from where you join. Sorry for the echo. Yeah, at least I think we are much better now. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so, the problem like regarding the expectation talking about work and problem is who are we starting from the east? Well, we're really making a station, but as we speak, whosoever that have been fighting, they had nothing again to bring into this conference but war. Nobody will kind of make somebody panic here. Liberia, they are tired of war. When something will come, when you hold, you put your hand to it, that's the only way it can work. But as we speak, no Liberia willing to intercede war into this country. That's why the government have put out the war crime code. Let them look up to him and see what will come after this. But those are the people who resign that are business. They resign, they want to go in the bush, let them go in the bush, they will see what will happen. What makes the country hard? If I can't resolve, they will never go in the bush again. If the king that King just will go and recruit another people in Lima, we are looking up to them.
All right. Thank you so much to this caller. Good evening. Hello. 0778-339-682. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-339-682. Call in to be part of the show right here on Truth FM SKTV. To this caller, good evening.
Hello, my name is James.
Hello?
Yeah, my name is James Kulapa calling from Police Academy.
Go ahead, brother.
Actually, these people have the serious weight for the atrocities that are caused in this country. We lose our ancestors, we lose our forefathers, we lose our relatives during the war. So if Joseph Walker cannot implement the war crime code, the Liberian people will protest, and now us will put it on a serious note that they're supposed to carry on the war crime code.
All right. Thank you so much. To this caller, good evening.
Good evening, neighbor.
Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
Thank you so much. Lorenzo Baba Jima is my name. Yeah, I'm calling from Ravi. How would evening? Yeah, member. It is important for all discussing this evening that we cannot leave or people who cause atrocity in this country to let them go free. They have to pay for what they did to the Liberian people. They have to get a full account of it. We cannot letting people that are loitering in the corridor and be intimidating the citizens after they finish killing us to go back to exonerate themselves from what they think they have did. I don't understand. If you feel that you're free from this thing, let the war crime go there and justify yourself. If you're guilty, then you'll be free. If you're not free, then you're free. So I don't want Liberian people to be thinking about this cause of war crime. War crime is to be an issue. Let us clean all the mess in our home. We got other nations that went through the same. Reference like Luanda. Today, they clean all the mess. So today, people classify them as good citizens around the world. We cannot have idiots people around or who killed us in this nation and continue to require them, get them power, and they continue to intimidate us. So, Melbourne, thank you so much for the show. Liberians, get us to ON and make sure get it dead out of this country to clear out the nation so we can be a free people. Let other people get respect to us.
All right. Thank you so much. 0778-339-682. That's the number to call. We take a few calls across over to the team. Maybe they want to respond to some of you. Yeah. 0778-339-682. Indian Liberians are speaking out. 0778339682. We are looking at the is Liberia safe today? Then we were on the former president, we are like government, or where we when it comes to security, with all of the news, all of the happening, uh, EPS, some EPS officers resigning and so forth. So today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, my brother, go ahead, your name and from where you join us.
Yeah, I'm calling you. My name is Evangelist James. Come on, I call you from our brother to start the Google shop.
Okay, boss, go ahead.
Yeah, I listen to you guys as it relates to the issue that has to do with the pre-Johnson thing. What I want my brother in studio to do, or my brother in the brother to do, is to be very factual in that it also poses some security threats. Because, you know, they say when somebody's being bitten by snake, and then you see a laser thing, you know, it covers you. So let us start to, the fight before we can, start to preempt it, because for fear of putting, our country in another, state of anarchy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Medical. And today's caller, good evening. Hello, how you doing? Good, go ahead, Chief. Your background is bad. You have to move away from the radio if you want to be part of the show, because other people are also listening to you and they want to get your point, because yeah, sometimes if people don't get you clear, sometimes they can carry some misinformation. So 0778-383-9682. That's the number to call. Today's caller, good evening. Yeah, my brother, go ahead. Your name and from where you join us.
Yeah, brother, I just want for security reason. I just want to get your private number. I want to discuss something with you. Serious thing, brother. Thank you.
All right. So after the show, you can call me also on the number you're gonna get me, or text me first before calling, because sometimes people call me a lot on the number, so I call it off.
No problem, no problem.
All right. All right. All right. Thank you. Hello, today's caller. Hello. Yeah, we don't get you. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm getting you. You getting me now?
Yes, you are loud and clear.
The issue about the work code is not about doing things as children. This guy who people accusing the clear people, you don't know that we should wait in the way that it be a professional. It be in the way that it be or having security on it that they can having issue, they can having people, they can having money, they can having things that will protect them. If you don't have your government intact and building up your security and having things to be done, if many people who are saying things that they will want to push it, if they sell a car and pick them up, let them tell them, they might push off and be able to do it down. Now tomorrow, if they got bounce back, they will get picked up, or they will be in danger, and they will be in peace over there.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think you are saying something. I think it's maybe Seku and Rabbi Zalman will look into that.
You guys have to work on it. We are not getting anything out here. Seriously.
Okay.
You gotta do.
All right. Sorry, the guy said it down. Yeah, a lot of maybe because of the echo on the other end. Yeah. So
we are hearing. Who's not hearing anything? We're hearing you.
We can take it from my end. Let me see how best to do the adjustment. I think yes.
We were hearing them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's technology, so sometimes this thing happen.
I was hearing them loud and clear. Everything was.
I even hearing even people are calling, but I don't know where he's saying if I not hear. But let me take the call and see. Hello. Yeah, but go ahead. Your name and from where you us.
We hear you.
As I was saying, I'm pretty tired of Africa community.
Oh, but I thought you already. And I'm go ahead.
You come if people know that they work on here, if you got a security, the CIA, to come feed the guy all the materials. You know, they might say, well, they might allow to feed people on there, if we're over there, if it is an issue,
We ain't probably there. They be in peace over there.
All right, understand what you trying to. I say maybe you are saying like for example, during those times, circular, we're talking about maybe when you go for the man and when you miss the man, when the man bounce back, it can be easy. Whenever we see how to do the adjustment, I think we got to go back to studio A. So you Seku, you and President Monk.
Yeah, it's okay, Mabel. It's okay. We can take over from here. So, before we continue the conversation, I just want to say thank you to somebody who contributed $40 to SKTV. It happened earlier today, but decided to go through the conversation first before we can talk about money. We asked anybody, if you wish to contribute to SKTV, you have our Cash App and Zelle out there. You can contribute to it. Ibrahim, welcome to SKTV. How are you, sir? Hello.
Yes,
Yes, sir. Welcome. How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon to Monk there. The topic you guys are discussing is very, very important. But quick question to you.
Brian, I don't know what you're doing, but there are a lot of noise coming from the background.
You can hear me?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, so sorry. When I was driving at this issue about the war crime court issue, what would have happened if the House of Representatives had introduced a bill and sent it over to the Senate as compared to signing a resolution? Because a bill, it becomes a law that will be enacted and signed by the president of the nation. But a resolution, people can drag their feet on a resolution and not law, and not bill. So I just want you to look at it from that give it a critical eye and understand why didn't they draft a bill as compared to a resolution? Or was there an initial bill that they decided to pass a resolution on, or what? Because I'm kind of low bit in between there to really understand the rationale of a resolution as compared to a bill. So that's it. I get that some kind of low understanding of that. Maybe you got some other thought on it. You can emphasize it. That'll be great.
All right, we'll do so. There was another caller, but I think we lost that call. I think that was Prince. Yes, so another person sent out $25. And the first name is Teresa. I'm not going to call the last name. Teresa, thank you. So one person sent $40, one person sent $25. SKTV, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. So yes, keep your calls coming in and be a part of this conversation. So to some of the callers, Mon, you want to react to some of the calls we just listened to in Liberia?
Yeah, as for me, I love listening to the people calling from back home, and some of them raise a very salient point. My thing here is, Seku, people, when you get renegades in society, they test the resolve of a precedent. Oh my God. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, my screen is blinking. That's why I don't know. I'm on the hospital network, so
yeah, no problem. We can hear you.
Sometimes. And they will test the resolve of the president to see how the president is going to respond to instances happening in the country, right? We tell folks, Joseph Boaga, this cannot be a lean back approach. You got to take this thing. It's approaching tipping point. You got to give people reassurance. You got to give them some kind of a hope that you are in charge. It cannot be the nomination thing. We are talking about renegades in society. We're talking about war crimes. You see, we saw the same strategy from the CDC government. These guys will wreak havoc, and when people try to protest, they will pull a counter protester on the street saying that protests bring war. I don't know. Protest does not bring war. You are the one waging war on the Liberian people. When you steal from the central bank, when you carry on a mop-up exercise that you cannot give account of, when auditors are being killed, technically you are the one waging war. But you know why they did it for? They did it so as to, make people afraid, not to hold them accountable. So they had a whole campaign that when you protest, it's a form of war. It's the same thing they are doing here. They are testing the result of Joseph Boakai. Look, like I said, when you listen to these guys, they all speak with the same tone. That's why they're appearing to be. And they are consistent in this thing. The question is, look, second, when leaders make decisions, they're not always trying to be right. They make decisions trying to do what is right. Joseph Boakai, you have the political capital. You hear the colors. Most of Liberians, the vast majority, the overwhelming majority of Liberians are in favor of war crimes court. And Allen White said it, Dr. Allen White said it on the same platform. They expect an executive order from you to give the people the assurance this time that the executive is behind this thing. Why are you guys still dragging your feet on war crimes code? Are you doing security or vulnerability assessment to say, oh, if I were to sign a war crimes code? The question is, which one carry the most weight? To let these guys to go scot-free or to bring a war crimes code, even though it poses a risk of instability to the country? Which one are you going to sign up for? And people are yet to see where you are leaning. Second, you see, until this president can prove me wrong, sometimes you can want to play quarterback for this president, but when you look at his action, you want to take a step back and be like, you know what? Until I can see this happening before I can believe it. It's the same thing that's happening. The reason the security situation is getting worse in the country, the reason people are feeling jittery, the reason people don't have that assurance is the fact that they don't see that effort on the part of the president yet. And the last caller from the US, I mean, he talked about the thing about the resolution, the bill. The thing is, a resolution is almost like a bill in action. The resolution is just like a sentiment to express the willingness or how people in the house is thinking. So if you were to pass the thing, let's assume that Joseph Boakai to wake up tomorrow morning and sign an executive order. I mean, the horse could, if it passes, the horse could come up with a full bill. But now it's a resolution. It's just telling us that, you know what, this is where we are leaning. It's up to the other guys to get on board. That's why a resolution technically is as compared to a bill. Maybe when the president pushes it, and we can get a unanimous consent from the Senate in terms of a support, then we can say, yes, we can come over for bill in establishing the one economic crime code. But for now, I don't think I have a problem with a resolution either. At least they are telling us in which direction the lower house is leaning. That's how I see it. But I will keep saying this thing. The president needs to put out his big ball pens and take control of this thing. You are the chief executive. People been hearing, they think that the country is pregnant. We're sitting on the town bond even before going to the elections. And the elections are over. People need to take control, and I think it's up to the chief executive himself. I will still reserve that right. I will want to believe that he will still do the right thing, but until then, I hold my reservation for now. I mean, from where I listen to the callers calling, I think that's my sentiment.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And you know, I'm enjoying the Liberian people speaking out. You know, sometimes when they are speaking out, Liberian people, when they speak on something, those who are on the opposite side of that, they will say, you know, those people, they are frustrated, they're angry, because they lost the election. But it may go beyond that. The fact that the Liberian people are saying that Joseph Boakai should take action, Joseph Boakai should do this, should do that. If Joseph Boakai failed to do what he's supposed to do, Joseph Boakai will be very, very unpopular within the first 6 months of his presidency, not even a year. And that will bring a lot of problems for him. But let me take this caller for the last caller before we leave the radio. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Breaking.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm back. You know, before I describe the security issue, let me come back.
We only got 2 minutes on the radio though. So
okay, look, war crime code is not a problem. But individuals that are handling war crime code are not the people that are handling. In a sense that you're getting power, you got animation, developing animation for everybody that are not supporting you or that are working in the previous government. So if you look at it keenly, it will be difficult for them because they are not the people that can develop. Before you go, exactly the war crime code, you know very well that's a code that you are looking for reconciliation to go for after those that they belong to other people. But if you are doing the same wrong to people, then why is you establishing a court? You go after all people because they never supported you. The same thing, the same thing brought a war or brought those things. They do the same thing, go after people. Go after people, do I support you?
You get 30 seconds.
So I'm not saying necessary because what I'm saying now is almost like developing more elementary. And secondly, to the business. Look, Seku, I commented, I said it. You cannot have a security that you're not aware of. Security is something like 100% how to get confident in that person. You cannot have a security that is not trust, you don't believe in. So you can somebody says, go to Seku, go mine. Without you knowing by the person, or without having correct clue on that person, they can bring that guy. The person going to your house, and then all your bedroom, all over. And the person is a running again after the next election. See, that's all former president. He's not compared to Julia Brother or to anybody that coming power.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
Anybody won't give it because you know.
All right, my brother, thank you. So I want to say thank you to Melbourne and the entire team of Truth FM for keeping us alive in Liberia. And I know I've been receiving a lot of messages and stuff based on some of the information we provided today. Some people are not happy about it. Some people are very, very happy. But that's what it is. Our SKTV, we are here for the Liberian people. We are not here to actually satisfy individual or group of individuals, at the expense of the Liberian people. No, we're not going to do that. We provide information. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You take action or you play don't care attitude. That's up to you. But yes, indeed, we want to say thank you to our folks in Liberia for making it possible. And I think Mabel is about to get to the news now. So we will continue to take calls here. Mabel, unless you have something to say before we go? Okay. Mabel is good. So we will actually take a few more calls here. And once again, I want to say thank you to the two people that actually supported SKTV today. One person, they both said we shouldn't call their name. No name whatsoever. Somebody donated $40. The other person donated $25 on Cash App. I want to say thank you to all of you. The lines are open. I'm not sure for how long. We've been here now for 1 hour and 52 minutes. This time around, we have tried not to actually go over the 2-hour limit, just to be able to, have the energy to come back the next day. We can say everything one day. And to President Boga and people who are listening and, that are concerned about what we talk about, when the information we unveil today, we will do more. Every time we get information of national security concern, we will always, first place a call to the government to get their perspective, and if they can come clean, if they can actually discuss what is, important to the Liberian people and actually inform the Liberian people about what matter to them, we will come out and talk about them. We will not say everything. We will not say things that will compromise the security of the nation and the president. But what could possibly affect the livelihood of our people, we will definitely make those public so they can know exactly what's going on around them. But I want to say thank you to all of you for following. Mong, do you have anything to say before we go?
I think we'll cover all the bases today on the whole security situation in the country. I would just reiterate the fact that the president needs to, we are counting on him. He's the president and the elections are over. We're counting on him to take charge and to put this whole issue under control, at least a public statement We need to see some people being called into question. Look, when you call people for question, it means nothing. It's just like you want to get people reassurance. Do clarify statement you are making. These statements are
Yeah.
public statement. You are saying anything in your church. We already know you are agitating. You see, they want to make it to seem like if to say the people who are blowing the whistle are the one causing problem. But in fact, the main problem creators are the one that making these public statements, whether it's the Yaya Nimne, whether it's the Albert Cheer, whether it's the Prince Johnson. These are the people that are raising the contention. Call them for questioning, President Parker. That's why you are the chief executive, you are the commander in chief. Make that move. You cannot run the country like the way you run your campaign. That laying back approach, no, it will not work. The security is the paramount, it's your first and foremost responsibility as a government. The protection, the security, the protection of life and property. So when you have people kind of for feeling unease with situation in the country, the security system, getting news, you got people that left the government threatening. Can you imagine the statement Jefferson Koji made when he came to answer recovery? Can you imagine if Joseph Parker is writing an executive order and you got a guy like Jefferson Koji making a threatening statement? I'll call him for question in 3 hours. He will answer what he meant when he made the kind of a statement. But you know, Joseph Parker, they say you cannot teach old dog new trade. That's just who he is. So maybe he might come up with something.
So to your point, Monk, if Joseph Parker continue to be like this, then God forbid anything happen, then that means he caught it on himself.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So to my brother and friend, Dr. Barton Kula, you are still concerned about security
And that's a link.
and the sources of yeah. Anyway, let me take John Maulo call. I wanted to respond to my brother Barton Kula. Mr. John Maulo, how are you doing, sir?
How you doing, Siku, Brazilian Monk?
We are here for you, and we're about to leave.
Yeah, Sarah said previously that where you got hooligans, as a former governor, whoever they may be, the Prince Johnson and whoever else, they will always try the government. And as soon as the government proves to be weak or afraid of them, that's a chaotic government. They will not stop. You know, some of these people are like babies. And a baby that every time they cry, people take them, they will not stop crying. They will continue crying because that's how they get their way. Prince Johnson or the Jefferson Koji or their new chairman or whoever the hell else got no right to threaten the state of our nation. And the president has any nerve, any guts, those people should be arrested. This is not the time you take threats from previous warlords and take it lightly. You arrest them, humiliate them, so that it sends a warning to the other people that you're not out for play. But when the military wives go and shut down the city, Sekou, you've been there. There is nobody who knows how to shut down the city unless you've been there.
Yep.
And when people do it, you got to be suspicious of why. Because wherever has it happened in Liberia where military wives who are not even civil servants,
Yeah.
come on the black road, much more to no strategic places where you can shut the whole city down. That is the highest national security threat. How do people get out? How do people get in? How do logistics get in and out of the country? You shut the city down and nothing comes out of it. They are proving to the people that he's afraid of them.
Yeah.
And Prince Johnson, as long as they're propagating this fear mongering, the people in the country will get more and more scared because they have seen war.
Yeah.
And they get more and more scared.
And the president is not doing anything to give people assurance that you'll be okay.
And nothing will happen. And these people will have their way. They will hang around and blow out smoke. And everybody in the country, they're scared because in every country, there are more people who are less busy and ready to cause confusion than there are people who are willing to stand up against it.
Thank you.
So the only way you keep those people at bay, you scare the hell out of the first person who does it, and they all find their way to go sit down and keep quiet.
As long
Thank you,
as
Mr. Mauro.
we're going to have this problem every day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have another caller here. 401 number. Yeah.
Call us. They're coming.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. What is your name and where are you calling from? Your name is Emmanuel. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for accepting my call.
For sure.
You know, it's not issues that's been discussed, it should be on a balanced level. Like what I'm just listening to, someone saying that people who make threatening statements should be arrested. They make threatening statements when he's down president.
Well, if the government at the time, I didn't say that as a threatening statement, they would have called him. They could have called him for a question as well. What do you mean by this?
When the people turn around, they will just know where we come from. We turn from around John, we are Congo. Was it now correct?
But Joey government felt that was a threat. They should have called directly for questioning. Anybody issue a threat against the country, the government in power has the right to question them. There's nothing wrong with that. What the issue? People say it was an issue.
We have to be fair in Nigeria. This is why things continue to happen. Those of us discussing issue to settle country, but we always take sides. It's not right. We need to be careful with our country. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, he's trying to say that some of the things that people are saying now, you should let the threat pass because it happened in the past. We are not Joey government. Joey did nothing about it. No, that's not how it works. If Joey was in power and people were doing similar threat and he did nothing about it, it doesn't mean that Joe Biden should let it slide. No.
No, the reason they never responded because they knew they were doing the wrong thing. The CDC government was the only government in the history of mankind that launched a counter protest. You know, government led people with opposing view to lead a protest. But for them, they created another group to protest against the people that were protesting. That's where the statement came from. The reason they never called it into question because they knew that the original protester were never issuing any threat. It was the government response that how people started reacting in such a manner. Joseph Boakai case is a different case. So, let me say something. You know, for people who understand technology and let's just say IT in total, they get something called vulnerability assessment. Before hackers penetrate a network, they're going to look for the weakest link. They would test every way to penetrate the network. And when they found one, they're going to flood it. That's what happened to Joseph Boakai. They're testing his resolve. They're looking for a way. They're threatening him. They're making him afraid. They're trying to make the situation look like, you know what, we're going to see who get balls, who can keep the hair on the water for a very long time. And if Joseph Boakai, or if he gave them signal that he's a weakling, trust me, it will continue throughout his presidency. They won't stop. That every time you want to go,
and it could even go bigger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they will keep doing it. And Mr. Mauro said it right. They will keep pushing him until they won't be the one to break because they're not going to stop. Once they believe that the whole war crown code thing and they don't want it, trust me, they will look for allies. They will keep pushing Joseph Boakai. I don't know. I want to see. That's why I say this is the first major test for Joseph Boakai on the issue of national security. And I don't know. Maybe he might respond to it in another way, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Monk, let's agree that the Senate portion of the whole, old document signing for the War Crime Code. What is stopping Joseph Boakai?
That's the question.
The executive order and making it public.
That's the question. Alan White said it. We came here before the election, we came during the election, and we came after the election. Joseph Boakai made a phone call. I mean, it's Dr. White. People were on the network there, heard him loud and clear. You was the one that called us. So the question is, why are you still dragging your feet on the executive order? Look, if Joseph Boakai was to sign an executive order today, with all the political capital he has at the advantage, with the country supporting him, tell me what you think Prince Johnson is going to do.
Nothing.
And that's the question. So the question is,
Absolutely nothing.
yeah, he's not gonna do a damn thing. Sorry for my French, but that's a fact. Or yeah, the man won't do a thing. So the question is, if you are really in favor of the war control, if you were the one that sent an olive branch to the international committee, I'm ready for the thing. Why are you still dragging your feet with an executive order? That's the question. But we'll leave it for we'll leave it there for today, please.
Yeah, man, it was a great discussion. Appreciate your time and appreciate everybody's time. And those of you, somebody say, what's the WhatsApp number? Or the both number we have on there, all those numbers have, they have WhatsApp, so you could call any of the number. Maybe next time. Once again, let me say this to my brother Baton Kula and everybody else. SKTV, we don't brand our sources. We don't tell you, who are our sources, but we are very clear. We told you that we are connected in the Republic of Liberia. It doesn't matter who is in power. Issues of national security, we are on top of our game. We understand exactly what's going on. And we got the right people in the right position to inform us. Not everything that we know we can talk about in public. Believe me. There are a lot of things we know. But if speaking about it in public will undermine the national security of the nation, we will not talk about it. Anything we talk about means that we are giving the go-ahead to talk about them. We want President Joseph Boakai to be a leader, to have some spine, to develop spine, to make sure that he stand up for the Liberian people. That is why he was elected. And he should do just that. He shouldn't be a laissez-faire president, sitting by or outsourcing his responsibility to other people. He needs to keep focus. And he needs to tell his son to stop interfering with national security issues, to stop sending people to agencies with a plan to use them to target their perceived enemies. You hear me loud and clear. President Joseph Boakai needs to talk to his son to stop interfering with anything that has to do with national security. Pushing people on agencies and other security apparatus with a plan to use them to target certain people. You shouldn't do it. Two different people that were serving as security personnel behind some government officials that were fired by them. Those guys are now seen within some security agencies with uniform and arm. Imagine, I fire somebody today in less than 3 weeks without they going through any formal training or any proper method of recruitment. But all of a sudden, in 3 weeks, they are in uniform, ready and armed. Am I going to feel safe? That's not good. That's not good. I think you will make the proper adjustment to make sure that you don't undermine the security of the nation. Your father is the president. You should be careful with that. You should be very, very careful with that. So, with regards to our sources, Dr. Kula, don't worry about that. What I can tell you, worry about the authenticity of our information. If we provide any information, we want you to be at liberty to dig deeper, to do follow-ups, to make sure whether the information is authentic. The reason why we've had it 99.9% of the time is because we don't just talk about anything or everything. We follow stuff from the actual sources. If we tell you something, it means that we deem it necessary to talk about them. We know a lot that we can talk about. We will not do anything or say anything to undermine the security of our nation. When we see it happening, or we see the potential of the security being undermined, we will talk about it so that people can take the necessary precaution to preserve our security as a country. That's what we do. We are connected so much to the fact, to the extent that we don't do anything that will endanger the life of our people. We love everybody. It doesn't matter who is in the presidency. Trust me. I don't want our people to be taken by surprise. If somebody is doing something that is of national security concern, you must take action. This Obaga should be careful. He should speak out. Speak out very loud and clear and state his position. Can't be afraid of Payne Johnson. We have a different news to talk about. I don't think we have enough time to talk about that today. It has to do with meeting and decision taken by Payne Johnson's party, the MDRO, against Jeremiah Kong. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow. It will interest you to hear some of the things that that those guys are planning for Jeremiah Kong. Not only they had conversation, they have made a decision, and they're in the process of taking action. But again, I want to say thank you to all of you for following SKTV, and those of you who supported us financially, we appreciate you. Those of you who share the show, we appreciate you. But I'm still not impressed about the number of people that can share the show, to be honest. I love you guys' consistency. When many of you come here, you don't share the show. We can know who share the show. Sometimes don't just share, just share with, share with everybody. Yeah, somebody is asking for Steve. Steve is here as well, and nothing happened to Steve. Steve is okay. Steve is working. Steve always come in from work, and if he feel free to come on while he's still at work, he can come on. If he doesn't feel comfortable or feel free to come on while he's at work, he doesn't come on. But for the most part, Steve is free on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully you see him on Friday, maybe Saturday, or maybe during the week if he's free to come on, he will definitely come on. Yeah. So, but thanks for asking. We're good, and we love you all. We appreciate your time. We want to thank you all for your support to SKTV.